in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush, going fists and kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then they fight us, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, slaying blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with my golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling my golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D Rose.
I didn't get rid of all the hair. Had to leave one or two there. That one will continue to stay on the intro, D-Rose. I wasn't going to do you completely dirty and just remove all the hair. As you guys know, D-Rose's hair in the thumbnail was on the line this past weekend for UFC Noche 306 or Noche.
I never agreed to this, by the way. I never agreed to this.
Last time. So D-Rose is now bald. You know, see him now. He had some sick Diego Lopez hair, and you know he had to shave it off. So you know, shout out D-Rose for following through with his end of the deal, even though he didn't have to. He had luscious Diego Lopez hair and just shaved it all off. You know, what a man of his word.
All for content. all for content too. Like what are we doing here? I'm doing this for y'all, man. Y'all gotta appreciate this.
Yeah, indeed. With that being said, welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt. D Rose is on that side of your screen. For today's podcast, what we are going to do is just basically recap Noche UFC 306. I was live at the Sphere, so I'm sure a lot of you probably saw my vlog. But anything I didn't cover or any questions like that D Rose has, we're just going to talk back and forth. I'm going to give you my recap from live in the Sphere. D Rose is going to let me know how it was from home, my questions and such. We're going to bounce a few things back and forth. We did have a pick champ this past weekend. As you see, I got the strap back over here. So D Rose is going to be eating some beans. I did let D Rose know I have a surprise for him, so I'm not going to click that yet, but it is going to be hilarious. And then we got some UFC fight news and announcements to go over. So, we got a little bit to get to on today's show. No fights this upcoming weekend. Paris will be next week, but I'm not even sure if we're going to be here next week, D Rose, because I'm going to be on vacation in Jamaica this upcoming week. So I wouldn't count on us doing a podcast next week for Paris. Maybe change the cheddar when I get back, like super late Friday night or early Saturday, maybe one of those two. But that's just probably all y'all going to get from me here next week, because your boy is going to be gone. And I'm not bringing my laptop this year. It was a hassle last year. So with that being said, D Rose, let's get into the chat real quick. We got Austin in here. Hola, mi amigos. What's going on, Austin? Appreciate you stopping by here tonight. We got Riley in here. What's up? What's up, Riley? We got Dave here. I'm still upset about our Irene's pancake butt in the tights in the dump truck was in the undetected baggies. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry.
You can see it from the front. Like that's how crazy. Like you can see it from the front. Like that's all you needed. That's all you needed with Norma, man. It's crazy.
Balls
Class A herself.
bald, but at least his teeth is perfect. D-Rose, I don't know. Like, you weren't always bald, man. I don't know if like anyone can picture you with your actual hair, man. Could they do it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, because a lot of people now, when I tell them that I had hair, they act like I'm sitting here telling them this complete myth, and I'm like, no, it actually was a thing at one point in time. I did decide to just shave it myself versus actually fighting the good fight and actually keeping it. So, I could have kept it, while it was struggling, but I just decided no mas, and go ahead and take that thing off for good.
Hey, man, you're a lot more, self-conscious than a lot of other people, dude. Some people I just see holding on. I'm like, hey, man, just let it go, dude. That's like it just looks worse with it there, dude. But it is
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I see dudes who get the spray in on their hairlines and dude getting these beard fillers with the paint and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, if you can't grow it yourself, it ain't worth it, man. Like, I'm not sitting here getting all this stuff, like all these crayons and stuff sprayed on my face. I'm good, man. I'll just go ahead and rock with the bald head with just a little goatee. I'm straight.
I got you. We got a good evening from Alex B. What's going on, Alex B? And Sugar Ray letting everyone know I'm D-Rose, or I don't know what he's saying, but like he usually said,
he forgot the
like,
glad.
Yeah. I was like, like he usually said, I'm glad D-Rose came on. What's going on, Sugar Ray?
We My man Sugar taking a rip of that bong before he hopped on that thing. Got a nice bing rip out of there.
A bing grip. What's going on, Lush? Appreciate you stopping by tonight, my guy. Good to see you in here. Well, Alex B. Jamaica is always fun. Hit up Rick's Cafe. D-Rose is going to Turkey. Nah, not going.
Too expensive.
Hey, goodness gracious. Dave says he got hats. Yeah, dude. I'm a hat guy. So if I ever, start to lose my hair, dude, I will have no problem just wearing a hat all the time, dude. I have lots of hats. Lots of hats. Dave said I'm about to Sharpie my shape. All right. With that being said, you guys, let's get into the recap. UFC Noche recap from this past weekend. Obviously, it was at the Sphere. I was there. In the event, dude, I don't know if anything could have been cooler. Like, imagine going to a movie theater, right? But the movie theater is all around you. Your seats are also like vibrating and shit. There's like flowers shooting down on you, but you're also watching your favorite sport, your favorite fighters, dude. There's so much shit that I couldn't show you guys in the vlog just because of copyright of a song, or because that's the UFC's material, their little showcase and all that. I couldn't, like, I can only do like little 10-second clips, and hope for the best. Hopefully I don't get demonetized. So I just did the best that I could with the vlog. So if you haven't seen the vlog, go check that out. It's about an hour and a half, so it is about a movie full, but it's my travel there, Vegas, weigh-ins, the fights, all that. It's a whole hour and a half vlog. So go check that out if you haven't ever been to any UFC fights, or if you want to know what it was like actually being there in the Sphere, and not close up either. I was pretty high up. D-Rose, what'd you think of my seats, compared to the other times that I go to events?
Well, I mean, you were high up, but to be fair, I mean, it looked at like a better angle on camera than it was maybe in person. But in terms of where you were sitting, I mean, you did have a pretty good view of the octagon, to where like the cage isn't in your way. You're over top the octagon to where you can see, all the action. So while you might have been like a little bit of a height away, you actually had a better clearance in terms of the cage. So I mean, it still is like pretty good seats to me, and at least you're still in the building. So.
Yeah, dude, it was fun. Very expensive though, dude. I'm going to be paying for this for next little bit, dude. Not gonna lie, it's just like, yep. It it just is what it is. But it was fun. If it's
But man,
one of
like I
one,
said, dude, you went to something that was history, and I think you're about to lead into it. But yeah, something that Dana has said time and time again is going to be a one of one. Really just in terms of due to the money input in that thing. So I mean, yeah, it is something that like you said could cost a pretty penny, but that's memories for a lifetime, man, and that's history in the making. So yeah, you were there for the first ever Sphere event for the UFC. So that's pretty damn dope.
Yeah. Yeah, the money you pay, but the memories will last forever. That's what I'm telling myself, Ben. That's what I'm telling myself, man. Yeah, but with that being said, though, let's just get into the fights themselves. So we'll start at the main event and just kind of go down from there. Obviously, the crowd was for Sean O'Malley, dude. When the song came on for his like fucking walkout, dude, the crowd was going absolutely nuts, dude. The whole crowd was bouncing back and forth. It actually caused me to have to re-upload the vlog 2 separate occasions because apparently, I guess 2 of the clips just added up perfectly, like, and the song kind of played through. Dude, I was so heated. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So had to go back, chop off a little bit, dude. All for like 1 or 2 seconds, dude. It was so stupid because YouTube wouldn't let me upload it with a walkout song in it. So yeah, dude. But by that point, I was probably 6-7 drinks in at a UFC event, dude. So I was hammered. I'm not really hammered, but I don't really remember everything from that point. But I do remember that I thought Sean O'Malley may have won round 1 just because it was nothing really happened. He's the one that kind of landed like the strikes. Like in round 1, round 2, like Merab for sure won. Round 3 was also another close round that it's like, dude, if you want to go for nothing but damage, Sean O'Malley, there is a point to be made that he probably won round 3, and I think a few of the judges actually had him probably win in round 3, and I would think everyone probably had Merab win in round 4 pretty definitively, but Sean O'Malley's best round was round 5, and from what I saw, he hurt Merab to the body, a couple times in the in the 5th round. And obviously, I'm super biased. I was there with a wig, but I wasn't that asshole that left it there. I still brought my shit back from Vegas. I was sad. I may have took it off, as I was walking out of the Sphere, but I left it on during that whole fight and until the announcement. Then I was like, fuck, and then I took it off. But I had hope, dude. Once I heard like the 48-47, I'm like, dude, let 2 judges give him 48-47. This is like decision here. So I was just hoping for the best, but in reality, I pretty much knew like it wasn't going to happen. I was just there, just hoping for the best. But yeah, going back, to be honest, Merab probably won 4-1, probably won the first 4 rounds, and then O'Malley won the 5th. But yeah, news is coming out now that O'Malley has to have hip surgery. So I'm kind of wondering, did that happen in the fight, or was that something that happened like before the fight? But I'm sure he's not acting like he's like salty about it, like I should have won that night or anything like that. He seems very humble about the whole thing, which is honestly pretty cool to see because a lot of fighters are the exact opposite, dude. He seems like, okay, I just lost. So I'd love to see that from the Sugar Show. But aside from that, man, how was the main event from home? Because they are in the in the Sphere. It was just like projected, like the 2 big fighters at the beginning, and then they kind of disappeared. But it was still just like a crazy future Vegas skyline, fucking basically, with like drones all over the Sphere. But yeah, how did it look from home?
Yeah. Oh, and I meant to ask one more question too. Like, so when the fight was happening, did they actually play it on the screen, like as the fight was happening?
Not the whole screen, but it was almost like when I first got in there, dude. it looked like it was like a cage built up, and they had just put 2 screens up like on the cage. I was like, there's no way they built a giant cage in here just to put 2 screens on it. And the first time I saw something change, dude, was the Wingstop fucking thing, dude. And the whole shit turned like lime green. I was like, oh shit, what the hell? This is wild.
Wingstop.
Yeah. And then from that point on, I was like, dude, whatever they change next is going to be sick, dude. And dude, it was. I kind of wish they would have got started a little bit earlier, you know, in the night. Maybe they started off a little bit weak because I heard a lot of haters. I heard a lot of haters on a few of my videos, like, what are they doing? Like, I can't believe you paid to go to this, yada, yada, yada. And then, dude, as the night went on, dude, it just got better and better, dude. I was like, this is great, dude. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah.
Yeah, no, and as far as the main event, you know, I mean, I saw it that I mean, I thought it was 4 rounds to 1 for Merab. I did think that I thought the third round was close, but I still thought Merab took it as well. I do agree with what some people have said, that Sean O'Malley did look a little bit he looked a little flat going into the fight. I don't know. He just didn't seem to have as much bounce. He was a lot more like I guess he was just a lot more heavy-footed or just flat-footed, because he had a lot more bounce in his Aljo fight. And I felt kind of the same with the Cheeto fight, but I felt like he was, I don't know if he was waiting to really plant to land that counter against Merab, but yeah, I'm not taking any credit away from Merab, because obviously we know his style. He does it to everybody, and I mean, there was obviously one path victory for each fighter: Merab by decision or Sean by KO. And you know, Sean didn't get the KO, and Merab won by decision, so we expected it to go like that if Merab was to win. But it did seem like that. I guess I don't know if Merab's style was just having Sean maybe overthink or something like that. But yeah, and then in terms of the, you know, just like the atmosphere, the, you know, the card itself, you know, I think really I saw a lot of people on social media who were even saying, like, you know, just watching the event on TV, you know, they were getting good energy from it. I will say, you know, that fight and the Valentina fight, we'll get into it. Those fights did kind of take the wind out of the sail a little bit of the card, if I do say so myself, just because I felt like it was such a spectacular night. And then going into the last 2 fights, the 2 fighters who people wanted to win didn't win, and then they lost in kind of a boring fashion. So it ended up putting kind of a sour damper on what I thought overall was a really good night. But yeah, in regards to the fight, yeah, I think Merab, you know, he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and yeah, he, you know, champ now. And I'd like to see. I was going to ask what you would like to maybe see next, and I was going to say they threw out the idea of Figgy. I honestly, throwing that out there, I would not be mad if Figgy ended up getting the shot, just because I do think that his scrambling ability, his power. He's got some good speed too, so I do think a fight between him and Merab could potentially be fun. But I didn't know what you would want to see next from Merab and Sean.
Yeah, Sean, I could see a couple things next. If they want to do a fun, difficult match, I could see them doing Corey next. But if like they'd like to get him back, like you know, like on a winning streak, that's an interesting one for 120.
Him and Cheetah for the trilogy,
dude. No. But for Merab, I actually like Figgy, because that's, like as you said, that's a pretty fun matchup, and you know, I like that Figgy has some power, so it does make it interesting. But they're probably going to do Umar, dude, because they already kind of promised him, I think. So, and it's like, who else is going to fight him? So they're probably going to do Umar next, dude. But that's just
who's your favorite going into that fight?
For sure,
Umar.
For sure, dude. I would favor anyone that has power to knock someone out over Merab, just because he has shown that he gets hurt quite a bit, dude. And all it takes is just one to get put out. So you never really know, man. Let's see what Dave said. Prelims, I was like, WTF, what do they spend $20 million on? Exactly. Then the main card came out, understood. It looked better on your phone than how it looked broadcasted. Interesting. The money you paid, the memories will last. Oh, yeah, I was already there earlier. Not the biggest Sean fan, but he has one of the best walkouts. Merab trying to sub via kisses. The only moment Omalley won was the introduction, unfortunately.
Yeah, what do you think about that with the kisses? So did you see, like, so when that happened, it was still 4 seconds left in the round when Merab did that. And when Sean stood up, he, obviously went to punch him because, dude, like, Merab stood up, he didn't realize there was still time left on the clock. And Herb Dean went to step in, and they're like, dude, there's still time left on the clock. Did you notice that from inside? Notice that there was still like 4 seconds left when Sean went after that?
Yeah, because you heard the clap, and then he just stood up like it was the bell. Like, I was like, wow. Did I stay to the end? How was the crowd after Merab cut off his hip? A lot of people were just getting up once the bell ended because they already knew the results, to be honest. So,
trying to beat traffic too.
Yeah,
probably.
Probably. Henry versus Sugar versus Henry. That's a good fight. That's a good fight to get Henry back on. I mean, to get Sugar back on track. I wouldn't mind that. The sound quality for the pay-per-view was crap. The vlog was great. That's what's up. Yeah. So with that being said, let's go down to the co-main event. Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko, dude. This is a quick one. Alexa Grasso had a few chances to sub Valentina, and I think round 2 and round 4. But aside from that, dude, this is how we basically thought the first fight was going to go, and how a lot of people thought the second fight was going to go, and I'm sure how a lot of people thought this third fight was going to go, and it finally went that way. Valentina just wrestled her, man. I think the best thing for Valentina to do would have been to retire, because it's like, what else are you going to – how many years do you want to just hold on to this title for this point? Like, what are you doing, Valentina? Like, I don't understand the whole point of it. But yeah, I guess Manon Fierce versus Valentina next, but I don't know, dude. I mean,
that's going to be such a boring fight.
I know, dude. Valentina is just going to wrestle her, dude. Unless, dude,
honestly, if
I see weigh-ins,
man, I got a chance.
Yeah, if I see weigh-ins and Manon's like a solid 4 or 5 inches bigger, I want to be like, dude, this is going to be interesting, because Manon's not a small girl. She's a big girl, and she was throwing around Erin Blanchfield like, it didn't matter, So that would be an interesting one. But if they're roughly the same size, man, I think Valentina probably just going to take her down and just hold her down, because size doesn't really mean a whole lot, except for women's MMA. Then it does mean a whole lot, and that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Yeah, so co-main event, Valentina just wrestled Alexa Grasso pretty much all 5 rounds. What's your thoughts on this fight, man? Valentina and New. Or I guess I have to give my thoughts from the Sphere. That shit still sucked. The crowd was basically booing the whole time. There were a few Valentina chants in the crowd. One was like right in front of me, and I was like, man, how could you? Like, how could you go for this boring ass shit that's happening right now? Like, I don't know. Just not fun, dude. That one was cool because it was like, I don't really like remember what the background was, but I'm sure it showed it on the TV. I think that was like some form of like Mexican castle with like flags, but it was like towards space, because I saw like some fireworks and some stars and shit. But I, like, off the top of my head, I really don't remember, because I edited that vlog so much. I was like, I could probably never talk about or see this thing again, and I'll be all right, dude. Like, I had a great time, dude, but I've spent so much time talking Sphere over the past week, dude, that it's like, I'll be okay if I get this break, man. I need this break. But yeah, from inside the Sphere, dude, it was just a lot of boos for the most part. Pretty quiet. Yeah, not really a whole bunch of fans there to watch this fight, I think, for the most part. What about from home, man?
Yeah, no, that was the co-main was the one that really I think sucked the life out of the room because again, those 3 fights on the main card leading up were all awesome, and we are going to get into those as well. But yeah, just going into that co-main event, to me, it felt like the atmosphere and the crowd, like everybody was just on this high of like all these fights, all these knockouts, or we just came off of probably fight of the year, and we had another what was potentially fight of the year on the opener, and I felt like everybody just running off these fumes of the whole entire card. And then this fight happens, and Valentina just constantly goes for the takedowns, and obviously Valentina is going to do what she has to do to win. And you are right, as I said the same thing. This is exactly how I expected the first fight to play out, and then exactly how I expected the second fight to play out. But considering that neither of those did, I was like, well, I mean, Alexa has been able to basically fend her off twice. I got to imagine that she's going to do it a third time, and no, it looked like she actually ended up getting worse from her performances from the first and second fight going into the third fight. Just constantly getting taken down and just no resistance to get up. I mean, she went for a couple arm bars, a couple triangles, a couple different times, but other than that, it was pretty much domination from one end to the other. So yeah, hats off to Valentina, but as my cat just decides to just randomly jump up here and to jump up on my lap again. But no, I think Manning, I'm telling you right now, I will put money on Manning right now to beat Valentina if she's every bit of plus 190, plus 200 underdog going against Valentina, because I think she's the more technical, cleaner striker, I guess, at this point with her punches and stuff. Controls range well, and yeah, controls the range well. Yeah, if she's got the size on her, and she's got really, really good takedown defense, as we saw against Aaron Blanchfield, and as you said, throwing around Aaron Blanchfield too. Yeah, I would definitely throw some money towards Manafiro to beat Valentina, but yeah, I don't know. I am with you. I wouldn't mind seeing Valentina step away, but yeah, I guess she wants to keep fighting. I guess just go out there. She's bored. She's making good money doing what she loves and what she's pretty much done her whole life. So I can understand her not retiring, but I'm not gonna be excited to watch her next fight. I know that.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. So let's move on down to probably the highlight of the night, to be honest, was Diego Lopez versus T-City, dude. This was another reason why probably, I think, 2 more times. The other 2 times that I had to re-upload the vlog was because Brian Ortega's walkout song. I don't know what it is about that song, dude, but you can't have basically any amount of that song like in the vlog, or it won't even let you upload it. So very short amount of T-City's walkout, but yeah, that's just because YouTube just wouldn't let me upload it. So I have no clue why. But Diego Lopez, T-City, dude, that was a cool one because what happened there? I think they played a couple movies right before this one. What's up?
I don't know what they're doing upstairs. They're just going crazy up there. Yeah, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Even my cat just got up and like, what the hell are they doing?
You're like, let me go check this out. Yeah, but T-City, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. That was a sick fight, dude. It surprised me, dude, because I think we all know Diego Lopez is good, and we all know how tough Brian Ortega is, dude. But dude, Diego Lopez almost I just said the cat. You're also
she literally gets up, goes over and checks what that noise is, and then comes back over like, okay, coast is clear, and just comes and sits back down.
Let me put my ass right in the screen.
Yeah, seriously, like what in the world?
But yeah, dude, we all know T-City's tough. Diego Lopez is good, but dude, this fight, it was kind of an eye opener, dude. I cannot wait for Diego Lopez Ilya at this point. Like, I don't want Diego Lopez to fight Volkanovski because dude, Diego Lopez is probably going to knock Volkanovski unconscious, dude. It's like this dude in especially the first round, man, he comes out like a bat out of hell. And if he is able to get close enough to throw an uppercut hook combo on you, you might as well just kiss your night goodbye, dude, because you're probably going to sleep. And God forbid let him put his arm around your head and get the fucking clinch on you, dude, because if so, you're for sure going to sleep. This dude, D Rose, had his hair cut for the past basically 6 months now because we've been a fan of him. He lost the hair on this fight. This is also the fight that he lost the pick champ on. But yeah, from where I was at, I'm glad that I got the footage that I got because I was like, dude, that was nuts. And, you know, seeing like the clips like online from it, like from back here, dude, like it looked like Diego knocked him out cold with the first punch. Like if he just like let him fall, the fight probably would have been over. T-City out cold. But he like landed the one punch on them and then landed the other one. And it like woke Ortega back up and it was able to keep running around because the punch woke him back up. It was absolutely nuts, man. That fight was probably the highlight of my night, to be honest. I am so glad I was in attendance for that. And this has been a lot of fights I've been in attendance for Diego Lopez now. I first met him last year at Noche UFC, basically before anyone really knew him. Like he had only fought twice. He had one loss against Mavsar and then one win that I was at his fight in Nashville. And after I seen that fight, I was like, dude, this guy is going to be a problem. And I saw him last year at Noche UFC and I grabbed a picture with him, dude. And now look at this dude, number 3 in the world, basically, or I think he is number 3 in the world, dude. Absolute problem for 145. He's a massive guy too. How was the fight from home, man? And I guess just what were your thoughts on the outcome altogether?
Yeah, no, it was an awesome fight, and you know, for Diego Lopez, dude, his counter shots are just absolutely so clean. It's the way that he got it. It is hairy indeed, very hairy. No, but it was a awesome fight, dude. Diego Lopez's counters is so clean. I mean, for the first exchange for Brian Ortega to get hurt, you know, we know how legendary that dude's chin is. And for him to almost get shut off within the first, 30 seconds of the fight, it just lets you know how dangerous that Diego Lopez's power really is, especially within that first round. Yeah, I mean, you could put him up against Evloev. I don't know. I don't know if I want to see that right now.
Evloev's calling him out. Like, he's fucking calling him out. And fucking Lopez is like, no, I've been calling you out since our first fight when I took it on like a week's notice. And you haven't responded to me. Now I'm ranked above you. No, go fight someone else like you've been trying to do this whole time. I don't think that fight happens.
Yep. No, I don't think it does either. Honestly, I think there's a very good chance that Lopez could be fighting for a title next, especially with the way that he took the short notice fight with Dan Ige and Brian Ortega, and the way that all turned out. Yeah, I think they might be holding Diego Lopez for a title fight just because I think he's earned that much goodwill with the UFC, even within the short amount of time that he's been there, just because his game as he's been. And yeah, the thing that I was most impressed of with Diego Lopez was that I was questioning whether his cardio would uphold later in the fight, just because where he is such a wrecking ball there in the first couple minutes. But when he knocked Ortega, or when he rocked him initially, right before he dropped him, I noticed that he had got really patient, dropped him, and then he had went for the finish there for a little bit, but once he realized he couldn't finish him, he did end up kind of standing up and was basically like, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to finish him. And he got much more technical with his boxing, but he was still the better boxer between him and Ortega. And his cardio held up a lot better later on in the fight than I expected it to. Although I did think Ortega had some good moments for the most part. Diego Lopez really dominated that fight, mostly with the boxing, and was even trying to show off a little bit of the ground control, saying that he wasn't scared to jump into T-City's guard and stuff like that. So, dude, Diego Lopez is dangerous, man. And I mean, whether it be against Max, Volk, Ilya, I mean, he's game against any of them at this point, dude. He's as dangerous as they can be at 145 right now.
Hell yeah, dude. And I'm excited for it. I'm here for it too. So let's move on. Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovics. This was a cool one. I was high up, but dude, the crowd was going nuts for this one, dude. This place was so loud, dude. It was pro Daniel Zellhuber, dude, but it's like anytime that he landed anything back, the crowd would go nuts, dude. But Esteban was just, I think he probably landed like a 60-piece combination on him, and just had Zellhuber up against the fence, just trying to do hand movement. And I was like, hand movement, Daniel. I needed Daniel Zellhuber to win that fight, dude, but that shit wasn't even close.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they
Who you
didn't
telling?
get stopped, dude. I'm surprised they didn't get stopped at a lot of
They
points.
probably
that fight,
should have.
dude. Yeah, dude.
They probably should have.
Dude, but Zellhuber never gave up, man, because just when you thought it was about to be
Such
over,
a G.
Zellhuber would fucking swing back a couple in him like, holy shit, dude. This
And land. Land.
Crazy, dude. This was a hell of a fight. Another one of the fantastic fights. And I was here for this fight. This is what got the Mexican crowd riled up, was this fight. And to then have Diego Lopez, Brian Ortega next, dude, it was just perfect. And then the last two fights, as you said, kind of like suck the energy out of the night. And that's pretty much what the Sphere basically felt like. It was pretty quiet in there during the last two fights, not gonna lie, except for when Sean O'Malley had some moments there in the fifth, dude. It was just quiet from that moment on for the most part. How was it from home, my guy?
Well, I was going to say, I had to imagine that this fight, at least for me, it felt like that this fight, that the crowd was at its loudest point, especially in that third round. Like, what was it like that inside as
Dude,
well?
It was loud in there, yeah.
Especially for that third round, man. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, so I did pick Zellhuber, but I was close to picking Ribovics, man. But my only thing was that Ribovics does have those blitzes, so I thought that there would be a chance that he could maybe run into a big shot, not like Manuel Torres did, but yeah, similar to where he could run into a big shot. Although he's got good striking himself, run into a big shot from Zellhuber, who's a pretty good counter striker. But man, and honestly, people kept saying, well, round 3 was the round of the year. I mean, even the first two rounds with them being as technical as they was, dude, they were still standing in the pocket and swinging, even with it being, people could say, a much more technical fight within the first two rounds. Dude, the first two rounds, I think they put the stat counts up, and I think it was like, the strike count was like 33 Ribovics to 31 for Zellhuber. And I thought Zellhuber won the first round. And then the second round, it was like 45 for Zellhuber and 42 for Ribovics. And I thought Ribovics won the second round. So that's how close the rounds were. Even though, strike differential was different for one, I thought the other won. So it was a super close round or fight going into that last round. And dude, that last round, for them to just go out there and just straight get into a dog fight. Ribovics gets dropped by the elbow and immediately gets right back up to his feet. Zellhuber gets a little bit carried away, gets cracked with a big overhand right, sitting there staggering. Dude, the fight should have been stopped. Why it wasn't, that's a complete surprise to me. But dude, such a fun fight. And for Zellhuber to have Bambi legs, stumbling, kind of running head first into the cage, and still for them to let that fight keep going. So you mean to tell me that Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya one fight? You mean to tell me that wasn't too early if they're going to let that fight keep going? I mean, come on, man. But that's another story for another day. I had a big bet on Izzy by decision in that fight, and that hurt me. But no, that fight was absolutely awesome. Right now, probably probably right now the fight of the year for me. It's between that and Dan Hooker and Gamrot, but dude, that Rebovich and Zellhuber threw down, man. And yeah, I'm going to be excited to watch both of them, man. But that was such a fun fight.
Indeed. And then the opener of the pay-per-view, dude, this was one where the crowd was heavy for Ronaldo Rodriguez here, lazy boy. But when O'Day came out, man, the crowd was bumping to some Drake, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the whole crowd was like, they may not have been going for O'Day Osborne, but they were dancing. They were dancing in the crowd, dude. Yeah, dude. O'Day Osborne had some confidence, man, to be honest, and I liked it. Like, at the weigh-ins, dude, he was like, I'm not backing down from this kid. And then in the first round, he dropped him, and then he, I think in the second, he had him in a deep sub, dude. So I thought O'Day clearly won the first 2 rounds. So I ran to the bathroom, so I didn't see the end of the, or I don't think the majority of the third round, but when I was coming back, I was expecting to hear, O'Day Osborne won via the split decision, and I was going to have to eat, beans this week because I, would have already lost the first 2, and, it just is what it is. But I heard Rodriguez won. I was like, that may have been a robbery, but I didn't see that third round, man. You have to kind of fill me in on it. But, yeah, I personally thought O'Day probably won the first 2 rounds. What's your thoughts on this fight? Or I guess that was, sorry guys, that was my recap from In the Sphere. And then D Rose, what's your thoughts on it from home?
Yeah, no, I mean, this was another awesome fight. And so the submission attempt from O'Day Osborne and the knockdown were both in the first round. So, gotcha. So then which honestly, another one could have been stopped, because if you're watching it on TV, a couple of those punches that O'Day Osborne like hit Rodriguez on the ground with, like, woke him back up, because he was out. And it reminded me of Nate Landwehr and David Onama when Nate Landwehr like literally bounces off the ground like a basketball, and David Onama hits him one more time, and it was almost like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I'm awake. Like, doctor cleared me. I'm good. I'm awake now. Yeah,
clear.
Yeah, literally, and he's just like, oh yeah, and he just all of a sudden zipped himself back up, and he's good to go. That's exactly what it looked like, what O'Day did to Rodriguez there. But all credit to Rodriguez, man. He ended up getting rocked, and then O'Day Osborne had him in a deep triangle there in that first round. O'Day Osborne's legs were gone in that second round, so Rodriguez was able to use a lot of his wrestling. It was a lot of scrambling. Rodriguez had a lot of back control, had a couple of submission attempts. The reason why, because they ended up giving Rodriguez a 10-8 there in that second round. I didn't like a 10-8 there because he did control the back for the most part in the second round, but that last 30 seconds, O'Day Osborne flipped position and got some really, really good ground and pound off. Not saying that O'Day Osborne won the round, but I thought after that last 30-second flurry, it would have saved him from a 10-8. Third round was super duper close. I think what really ended up screwing O'Day Osborne, because O'Day Osborne was having an advantage on the feet. He just got absolutely gassed, and Rodriguez was throwing big punches. O'Day Osborne goes for the takedown and misses it, and Rodriguez gets top position. Not really putting too much ground and pounding together, but it's the last, 30, 40 seconds of the third round, and, he has top control in what is a very close third round. And Rodriguez, I can understand how they gave it to him, but I still thought O'Day Osborne had the better third round up to that point. So, but very close fight, and a super fun fight as well. Both dudes brought the energy, and Rodriguez showed a lot of heart there getting through that and being able to get the dub.
Yeah, dude, he was fun at the press conference and at the weigh-ins, dude. He was going at O'Day Osborne, dude. Yeah, that was a fun fight. I was ready for that one. But yeah, I guess we'll move on down to the prelims. I'll click this back from the Sphere, dude. The main event of the prelims, Irene Aldana, Norma Dumont, dude. This was another one that the crowd, it may not have been absolutely jam-packed yet, dude, but the crowd was loud for this one, dude. The crowd loves them some Irina Aldana. I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of Mexican fans that were there. It felt like specifically for Irina Aldana. That was one of the loudest cheers we heard all night, to be honest. But she was taking on Norma Dumont, dude. In this fight, I don't want to say it went exactly how we thought it was going to go, but yeah, just
It did.
Norma Dumont throwing the more powerful shots, throwing leg kicks, and dude, Irina Aldana, even though she doesn't always win, dude, she's probably the most fun fighter there is at women's 135, dude. I mean, going back to her last few fights, excluding the Amanda Nunes fight, dude, she's in some very, very entertaining fights, dude. And I thought it may have been Carol Hosa because, but Carol Hosa is also a super fun fighter, had a great fight against Irene and had a great fight against Norma Dumont too. So, or against Carol
Hosa as a dog.
Penny Kianzad. That's what it was. But it's just like, dude, it's just like those, she's just almost like becoming this like fan favorite fighter, even if you hate women's MMA, which a lot of you probably out there do, and that's okay. You can't tell me that every Irene Aldana fight is a boring fight, because if so, then you're just a hater. That's what you are, because dude, she's so fun and her fights are always this bloody mess or she's knocking someone out, dude. Fun fight. As I said, this one had a sick background because it like came down, this thing got like popped back up and it was like stars, but it was like kind of like a Mortal Kombat thing. I don't know, dude. It looks so sick. Go watch the vlog. It looks sick, to be honest. I had a short of this up on YouTube, but it got taken down because I think they were thinking that I was recording the the fight on the
fight.
Yeah. So that got taken down and I got a copyright strike for that. So fuck off. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I had to be really, really, really careful with anything that I put up. So that's why I didn't really put up too many shorts after that one. But yeah, dude, that was a hell of a fight, dude. Shout out Irina Aldana. She's got to take some time off, dude. That cut was disgusting, dude. And the pictures from these past couple of days that have came out with just the stitches just all the way down. And you actually like you fucking messaged me and I should have just took your word for it, because you said that came from a headbutt. And I was like, I could have swore it came from an elbow, but the initial one, like on the head, did come from.
They showed it on they showed it on the broadcast. It just got worse as the fight went on, but they showed it on the broadcast where the headbutt happened, and that's where the cut happened.
Yeah, and then she got elbowed in it like a few more times, dude. Like and then it like went down to her nose worse too. It was just terrible, dude. But shout out Irina Aldana for always being in a dogfight, and shout out Norma Dumont, dude. I don't know many girls going to beat Norma Dumont, dude. She's probably your next 135-pound champion, because could you imagine Raquel Pennington versus Norma Dumont, dude? I think Norma would probably box Raquel up, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I think Raquel's a little bit too small, but that's just my opinion. What's your thoughts there? Then what's your thoughts from TV? Sorry.
No, I will say on your last comment, maybe not champ. Kayla Harrison's still out there, so I still think
I keep forgetting about Kayla Harrison, but it's like she's pretty old, like already though. So I don't like. I guess I just don't really look for her to be around too long. And to be honest, dude, Norma Dumont, Kayla Harrison, dude, I would take all that dog money on Norma Dumont, dude. After seeing Kayla Harrison versus Larissa Pacheco, dude, give me Norma Dumont. I'm taking that dog money, baby. I'm taking that, dude. Kayla Harrison's not, I guess, everything, man. I guess a lot of people think she's like MMA god, and she ain't the best, to be honest. She's got good takedowns, but that's about it.
Right. I guess the only thing is that I haven't seen Norma face somebody who can actually have those types of takedowns, but that's a different conversation altogether. But But no, I think just as
I'm
far
gonna
as
go grab something to
the
drink
fight,
real quick. I'll be right back, T-Rose.
yeah, no, and I mean, we can say that fight it played out exactly how we expected it to, because we did expect that fight to play out that way. For Class A herself to go out there, good footwork, good boxing. Her leg kicks are absolutely brutal. So she was, I mean, throwing dynamite leg kicks. And dude, even with her going backwards, she was still landing pretty raw power against Irani. And Irani, she keeps that high guard. We were talking about it last week, where she just kind of keeps her hands shut up, but she does not protect her body and she does not protect her legs. So those are just two areas that she just leaves completely wide open. And yeah, she does go out there, her last couple of fights, especially, she's gone out there, kind of bit down on her mouthpiece and have gone for it. But it's kind of cost her in the process almost. She did end up getting that win against Carol Hosa, but just barely. And in this one, I think she took a lot of unnecessary damage and didn't return a lot. I mean, I thought there in the third round, I don't want to say she had a rally, but she had a moment there in the third round when she was landing a couple of big punches against Norman Dumont. But for the most part, I thought Norman Dumont pretty much dominated the fight. But I do think from a technical aspect, though, I am with you. I mean, Norma was definitely top 3 in the division right now for sure. And I think even I do agree. If Norma fought Rocky right now, I would favor Rocky, or I'm sorry, I would favor Norma going into that fight because she's the bigger chick. I think she's a lot more the cleaner, powerful striker. And she's got really good footwork too, man. She's a good counter striker, and she was setting Irani up with a lot of those big counter punches that she was landing, as well as when she was kind of walking forward and landing her own combos. So Norma's got a little bit of it all, man. And Class A herself, she is she's something to watch out for at 135.
Indeed, man. So we'll move on down. This was another fun one, dude. Manuel Torres, Ignacio Bahamundes, dude. This was the last one for the pick champion. We'll get into that part next. We'll let D-Rose eat some beans. But yeah, this I knew. I just had it going under 2.5, dude. I knew whoever won this was not going to decision because of the way Manuel Torres fights, dude. He runs forward and basically Dricus. He's basically Dricus, if I'm going to be honest. That's how Manuel Torres
but
fights.
much more wild. More wild, though.
But also, at the same time, cleaner as well. Cleaner, but more wild at the same time. Cleaner punches, but more wild. It doesn't make any sense. But Manuel Loco Torres, as his name implies, dude, rushes forward and just throwing punches. And, dude, to be honest, he cracked Ignacio a few times. Like, Ignacio's chin got tested, and, he cracked Manuel Torres back a few times. And Manuel showed that he was tough as well. This was another one that, the crowd wasn't all the way there full yet, but dude, the crowd was going nuts for this one. Anytime anyone just landed one big shot, you just heard the whole crowd go, "Oh!" Like it was just absolutely nuts. This, I don't remember what was on the fucking Sphere background for this because it was on the prelims, so I don't think it was anything too sick yet, because I think like on the prelims, like they were just kind of changing just like one thing here and there. Like they were kind of just, I don't know, like it just didn't look too sick yet. But once that pay-per-view started, dude, that was like, oh shit, what the hell is going on? This is what I paid for. Here we go. But yeah, dude, I think Ignacio cracked him once, almost like fucking finished him. Then like fucking Manuel Torres was able to get back up, recover for just a second, and then rushed back in the exact same way, and then just got laid out. And then Ignacio just comes over, just lands a few grounds and pounds on him, and just put it out. This was actually one of the things that actually got in the vlog, the whole thing. So it was just perfect. I was like, it's over. But yeah, shout out Ignacio Bahamundes. I needed that under 2.5, but by this point in the night, my parlays were already out anyway because I needed Raul Rosas to finish Arichi Lang, so it didn't matter anyway. What's your thoughts on this, and how was it from home, D-Rose?
Yeah, no, this is another awesome fight, man, and one that we had kind of called out as one that was probably going to be one of them fights of the night. Hey, that's Miss Class A, the dump truck driver. But no, that was an absolutely awesome fight. Dude, Ignacio Bahamondes, dude, his counter striking is so clean. And that was the only reason why I picked Ignacio going into the fight, because I was like, man, if Manuel Torres, I mean, look, I get it, when you're fighting Nicholas Mota and guys like that, who can't really offer much resistance, you're going to be able to kind of walk through their strikes and lane yours. But dude, Ignacio Bahamondes, we've seen him put some dudes on the other end of some highlight reels, man. I mean, that dude's got some devastating striking. And we were talking about it last week as well, where he trains with Bilal Muhammad, and Bilal Muhammad has time and time again praised this dude for being the best striker that he has ever trained with. And Bilal is, as we see, a very smart fighter and a very well capable fighter. And he said he used them for this Wonder Boy fight, and he said just watching that dude hit pads, he said there's nobody more dangerous than Ignacio, especially at 155, where he's 6'2", 6'3", being able to have that type of counter striking like that, man, and being able to use that range like he could. Manuel Torres did have some moments where he landed some big shots, but for the most part, man, I thought Ignacio really controlled that fight from beginning to end, and to have the highlight reel knockout the way he did, I thought that was really something that can really propel him in this division, because it was kind of something that he needed. He's kind of in middling, fighting, as we see, Roosevelt Roberts, the John McDessies, and those types of guys, and I think he can kind of start taking that step forward. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be mad at seeing a fight maybe with him and like Jalen Turner or something like that. I mean, I think Jalen Turner's ranked like 14 or so. I mean, two giants, the way they are going in there and fighting, both the way they do. I mean, dude, that would have to be an absolutely awesome fight. So, but I want to see Ignacio Bahamondes start working his way up, man. I think it's about time for him. I think he's that good.
I agree, man. I agree. Let's move on to Yasmin Jauregui versus Caitlin Souza, dude. And looking back on this one, dude, if there's one person to be mad at, it's myself, man, because it's not like I didn't know this couldn't happen, dude. It's like, it just is what it is. There was a lot of how do I say this? A lot of letdown in the sphere after this happened, man, because it was almost like, dude, Edgar Chairez just now lost. It's like everyone's counting on Yasmin Jauregui, dude. Like everyone has her parlayed up, dude.
She's a momentum back.
She's a minus
Mexican momentum back.
Right? She's a minus 500 favorite, dude. Like everyone expects her to go out here and crushes her, dude. Like everyone's cheering for her as she's fucking walking out. Like everyone's like, hell yeah. And then
dude, was the crowd loud for her? Because it sounded like they were kind of popping for her when she walked out. Like, I mean, I know they did for certain Mexican fighters, but like, and maybe it wasn't as full for Edgar Chairez, but it sounded like they definitely cheered for Jauregui more than Chairez.
Yeah, there. I mean, she has some star power, and I know that there were people in there because it was pretty loud for Raul, fucking Rosas Jr. too. So it's like, I just think they have the people that they tend to support a whole lot more than just other people for some reason. I don't know why. But they were really supporting Yasmin Jauregui, and Caitlin Souza just comes out there, hits her with a hook, dude. Pretty much knocks her out. She could have just ground and pounded her, but then she locked up the rear naked choke, which is why I guess I'm not too upset at myself, because I would have, if I would have bet it, I would have bet it by sub. I mean by fucking knockout, and she ended up getting the sub anyway. But Caitlin Souza submits Yasmin Jauregui round 1, 3 minutes and 2 seconds after dropping her with a nasty hook, dude. And yeah, just a letdown for the Mexican crowd there. I'm going to be honest. That one was a sad one. The whole crowd was you just felt the energy. It was just a letdown, dude, because she was doing good for the first, couple minutes of the fight, and then just got fucking cracked, dude. And moving forward, because I know you like to ask me this, moving forward, dude, it's just like, if she fights anyone dude, if she fights Molly, dude, that might be an issue, man. That might be an issue, man. Be honest. Like, seeing her get cracked like that both times and seeing how Molly throws, dude, it's like, now, could Yasmin Howard take Molly down and put her in an armbar? Of course. But it's like, there's that chance there, dude. Yeah, that was an interesting fight. And I'm interested to see what they do with Howard next, because it's like, that was kind of like a little golden prospect that you guys had. And now she's basically gotten knocked out 2 times in a row by 2 Brazilians with neck tattoos, 2 heavy lesbian Brazilians with neck tattoos, dude. You got to keep her away from them, man. They're just, they got too much heat. Yeah, dude. I don't.
The Brazilian chicks are different, man.
Yeah, it is scary, man. But what's your thoughts on this fight from home, man?
Yeah, this one was pretty disappointing because I had Uregi by decision in a couple of different parlays. One, I was pretty. I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty heavy on her when it came to the betting there. So that did hurt me a little bit, watching that. But as you said, we have seen her go up against big hitters before, and get dropped. But I don't know, Caitlin Souza just because it was Marnik Man Marnik Man, whoever she fought in her first fight, she didn't look like she had that type of, I guess, like finishing power. So I guess that's kind of what I was taking into account, thinking that she wouldn't be able to hurt Uregi like that. But dude, Uregi just constantly, time after time, like just gets cracked, dude. Like even when she's trying to move her head, like she's ducking into, she's ducking in the uppercuts. Dude, it very well could be. I mean, because the Brazilian chicks already have an advantage, and then you mean to tell me they got a neck tattoo and they're lesbian? I mean, and they're the man of the house? Like, what do you mean? Like, of course they're going to overpower everybody. Like, yeah, of course they're going to. Why wouldn't they? But yeah, no, Caitlin Souza, yeah, I didn't expect that type of power from her, but Uregi constantly getting hit the way she does. I guess it's no surprise to see the fight go the way that it did, but Caitlin Souza coming in and looking sharp as well. So add more spice to the strawweight division. But yeah, that's tough for Uregi to take. A couple brutal finish losses, as you said, her being a young Mexican prospect, kind of getting set back a little bit. Kind of sucks for her, but good for Caitlin Souza to get that win and awesome finish.
Indeed. All right, so we'll move on to the first fight of the regular prelims. It was Edgar Chairez versus Josh Van, and dude, Josh Van came out to some Chief Keef there. Like, I don't know if you were to hear it from home, but dude, I
don't think they played the walk on home.
Oh yeah,
or at least I don't remember hearing it.
Yeah, I guarantee you that was the first time that Chief Keef has ever been played in the Las Vegas sphere that loud. Dude, it was absolutely nuts. I was like, dude, this is like the highlight of his life right now. But yeah, Josh Van came out, Edgar Chairez came out. I guess not too many Edgar Chairez fans for the most part, or a lot of Josh Van fans, because there were cheers both sides, but I just guess it wasn't too wild either way. I think Edgar Chairez had like fucking Josh Van in a deep sub in I think the first round, and then I think the second round Van hurt Chairez, kind of had him like wobbling around a little bit, but he ended up going to the third, and where Josh Van just kind of continued to just do the same thing, just kind of beat on Edgar Chairez, and Josh Van wins via decision. What did you think from this fight from home, man?
Yeah, no, that fight was actually a really awesome fight. Not fight of the night per se, but they both went after it, dude. Edgar Chairez, I did pick him. This was the one I felt like I should have went Josh Van there. And that's one I'm kind of kicking myself on. Yeah, that big piece of chicken, the big breast. This is when I felt like I should have went Josh Van as soon as the fight started, because I was like, man, I know how Josh Van fights, and Edgar Chairez doesn't have dangerous enough striking, but he did end up hurting Josh Van there in the second round. Even after Josh Van had Edgar Chairez hurt, Edgar Chairez hits Josh Van with a spinning back fist as he's kind of rocked himself to rock Josh Van. Josh Van gets the takedown there to kind of, basically get his bearings, clear himself up, and then go out in the third round and really do most of the same in terms of controlling the boxing and stuff like that. So good win for Josh Van. Dude, I'm pretty sure that's like 4 fights in like 6-8 months for him.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd like to see some type of like slow down a little bit.
What's wild is like his last fight, we were happy for him for finally getting a fight because his fights kept getting canceled. And then we're like, can we get Josh Van a fight? And we're like, Josh Van versus Charles Johnson. He finally got a fight. And then like after he got like fucking knocked out, we're like, whoa. Why are you fighting again so quick? So we're like happy for him to get these fights. And then now we're like, hey man, slow down.
Yeah. Well, I felt bad for him in that instance because it was supposed to be Tatsuro Taira. Then it was supposed to be Tagir Ulanbekov. Then it was supposed to be somebody else. So it was like
I think
time
Kevin
after
Borjas
time again.
Or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's already fought Kevin Borjas, but it was somebody. It was somebody like that though, like kind of like at that lower level. But he literally kept having fights, and they kept getting scrapped, and none of them were his fault either. So that's why I felt bad for him in that sense, because I was like, man, he's trying to get out here and get a fight. Take that brutal knockout loss to Charles Johnson, and then he turned right back around to fight Edgar Chairez. Dude, Edgar Chairez is not an easy fight, and to take that not even a full 90 days off of a brutal knockout was tough for Josh Van, but he came in and stood the test and got a good dub. So I'm glad to see him get back in the win column.
Yeah, I'd be worried if he continues to take fights in such short notice, because it's like there's no way he was fully recovered after being knocked out, and he took more damage against Edgar Chairez. And like, did he just not spar at all for this fight? Or did he spar? So it's just not good for his overall health. So if he continues to do what he's doing, at some point the chin's going to become an issue. So we'll move on to the first fight of the night, the only early prelim fight, which was Raul Rosas Jr., Mr. Chee-wee-wees. Dude, that was a fun one. That was a fun one, dude. Not gonna lie, because the sphere hadn't changed yet. We just walked in, it looked like they had put up a cage around the sphere and put 2 screens. I was like, there's no way they built a whole cage in this shit just to put 2 screens on it. I didn't understand, because it literally just looks so real, and I didn't understand until it changed for the first time. I'm like, oh, that's just what they have up there right now. That's going to change. So that being said, dude, not the most people in the sphere yet for this fight, but the people that were in there were all going for Raul Rosas Jr. They were all going for Raul Rosas Jr. by sub. Every single one of them in there, because every time he got the takedown, you heard everyone cheer, dude. Everyone's like, choke him, take his back. Like, dude,
that's hilarious.
Everyone in that sphere had a Raul Rosas Jr. by sub bet, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen, man. He was trying. He actually stood more than I think I would have liked, because Arichi Lang, he's got decent striking, and I think Raul Rosas was just kind of wanting to test it out there in the second, but he ends up getting the takedown again still. But Raul Rosas Jr., pretty much easy decision win. Was a good start to the night of the Mexican fighters, but it was a properly set up fight for the most part. We know Arichi Lang's his all the weaknesses that are already there. He's not going to get any better at this point. The rest of the fights, they were all young fighters still like themselves, so truly could have gone either way. But this one was truly set up for Raul Rosas Jr. Glad he got it done. And then he on the interview, he goes, everyone, on the count of 3, you know what I want to ask? Can I get the whole crowd do a chee-wee-wees? And the whole crowd did chee-wee-wees, dude. Chee-wee-wees. I was during the fight, dude. Chee-wee-wees, chee-wee-wees, chee-wee-wees. The crowd was chee-wee-wees. And then Joe Rogan was like, what does that mean? Yeah.
Whatever him and his dorky friends made up, but it is hilarious nonetheless.
Yeah, dude, my girlfriend absolutely hates it, dude. She's like, it's so stupid. I'm like, he's a kid. He's a kid. Anyway, what were your thoughts on this one from home, D-Rose?
Yeah, no, this was just a good performance from Rob Rosas. As you said, it was not necessarily a squash match that was set up, but it was a setup fight. It was set up for Rob Rosas to kind of get the crowd started and Abrici Lang, I thought he did pose some threat there in the second round with the striking. I thought Rob Rosas was trying to test out the striking a little bit, and plus he went for 2 takedowns kind of early, and Abrici Lang did do pretty well stuffing the takedowns there in the second round. And I thought he did a very good job of defending the submissions there in the first round. So even though, his reputation coming in about his submission defense not being that great, I mean, he fended off the submissions very well and then defended the takedowns very well in the second round. Just in the third round, I do think that Raul Rosas got the one well-timed takedown and was really able to kind of take control of the fight from there. But it was a good win from Raul Rosas. And I think just as far as, just building his skill, you can see he's slowly but surely getting better. Like his wrestling's getting a little bit better, and he's slowly but surely building more skill and adding it to his game. So, he's still 19, 20 years old. We don't need to see him make this massive jump. I just like to see him kind of continue getting these types of fights, just getting more experience. Because right now, I think for his age and kind of developmentally where he's at, I just think that's kind of what he needs right now, just to get some fights against some pretty solid dudes. They don't need to be top 10 in the world right now. They could be top 25, top 30, wherever the case may be, top 35. Just get him a couple wins, start getting him developmentally better. So that way we've seen some of these young guys kind of get rushed before to a point to where they don't really get to fully develop before they get too high up. And then they never get to realize their full potential. Rob Rosas got a good following right now. A lot of people like him. He's got good energy. Even with him having a very wrestling heavy style, people are still rooting for him because we know how that will go with a lot of UFC fans. A lot of UFC fans don't really support guys who tend to fight that way, but Raul Rosas does tend to have the crowd at the palm of his hands at a lot of times when he fights. So just keep doing your thing and keep getting these wins under his belt. And I think he can be a dangerous threat, man.
I agree. So that was the recap from the Sphere. Before we make D-Rose eat the beans, I do want to, shout out a few of you that I met and a few UFC fighters I met. So first, I did meet Yair Rodriguez while I was out there, so that's pretty cool. What's your thoughts on me meeting Yair, D-Rose? Seemed like a pretty cool guy. He was super late to the whole thing. He was like a half hour late. The line was massive, just waiting for him to get there.
That does not surprise me that he was late, but honestly, that would probably be me too, because I'm late to a lot of the things that I end up going to in life. So that is no surprise. But I would definitely be the same way, and that's dope, man, because I know he's been one of your favorites for a long time. So getting to actually meet the man himself in person, and doesn't seem too much. It doesn't even seem bigger. You actually seem bigger than him. So
yeah.
But yes, that's dope getting to meet one of your favorites.
And speaking of someone else that I was bigger than, that I didn't expect to be bigger than, and it was a very odd meet because I'm not really a fan of the guy, but my girlfriend wanted to meet him, and that is Bilal. Remember the name, Muhammad. You're 170-pound champion, dude, and this was a guy that I was like, dude, like I expected him to be at least, a little bit bigger than me, but it was kind of that was a weird experience. That was a weird experience, dude. Not gonna lie. I was like, dude, you are not nearly as big as I thought you were gonna be. Like jacked wise, or like, dude, like when I met fucking Chandler, I was like, holy fuck, that dude is big as shit. But like Bilal just kind of seemed like just a dude that just kind of goes to the gym, like to be 100% honest.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
and because I mean, honestly, and maybe where it's out of camp and stuff like that, whatever. Maybe he doesn't put on too much bulk, but going into that Leon fight, like going into the that fight weight, dude, he looked pretty jacked. So I mean, I didn't expect in terms of height wise, because I know you're a little bit closer to 6 foot, even if you're not right on 6 foot. So Bilal's listed at 5'10", so really he's probably about 5'9". So that doesn't really surprise me too much that you're taller than him, but to hear that he's actually not as ripped in person is a little bit surprising. But should have told him that, hey, I've been supporting him for a while. So
and those were the only 2 UFC fighters that I did get to actually grab a picture with there, unfortunately, because I met Chandler last year, I met Brandon Moreno last year. Like fucking, those were 2 of the fighters there, and then Umar was there fight day, noon to 4, so right before the fights. But I will, if I'm going to be honest, I feel like that would be one of those terrible meet and greet situations. I don't think I would want to meet Umar, to be honest. Like, he would probably just stand on one side of the belt, and then you're on one side of the belt, because I don't think they allow handshakes or a whole bunch of other shits, dude. It's like a whole bunch of really weird shit. So not that there's anything wrong with it, just I just don't understand why you would do a meet and greet if your religion prohibits handshakes and all that with females and all that, because there's a lot of girls there too. So it was just kind of odd. But I did meet a few fans of the channel there. I'm sorry, the first 2 I did not grab your names, but if you happen to see this, shout out you. Saw you at the meet and greet, so grabbed the picture with you. Was like, hey, are you Matt from the Golden Octagon? I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, that's what's up. And I apologize, I didn't have any cards on me at the meet and greet event. So if you see this, let me know this was you, and hit me up on my email, and I'll send you some cards, as well as this guy right here caught me at the event. Was like, hey Matt, what's up? And I was like, hey, how you doing? And then so if you see this, my guy, feel free to hit me up. I want to send. Wait, I think I sent. No, I gave you some cards. This was the guy I didn't give some cards. Steve Yule, the other one that caught me at the meet and greet. So Steve Yule, I know you usually watch a lot of the shit, man. If you want to email me your address, or just give me your address some way, my guy, I'll get you some cards, because I wasn't able to get you some cards. And the last guy that I caught up with at the event was MMA Cardboard. This guy was going up. This was the last one. This was Ode Osborne versus Rodriguez up there in the background when I was coming back, and he was like, hey, what's going on? He was going up the steps as I was going down the steps, and we were able to grab a picture. So shout out all of y'all that I was able to meet out there at the event. So let's see what you guys got to say. Okay, that's where we're at. Yeah, okay, that's where we're at. Bum law. And then I would have been like, good luck on your next fight, little guy. Oh, goodness.
Can't disrespect the champ like that.
He would have kicked my ass, dude. He would have picked me up and dumped me on my head
like I was on your
head. Exactly. So with that being said, Rose, time for the bean eating. We had 3 different picks this past weekend. It was Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes, where I wasn't confident on that fight. I just knew it was going under, but I did pick Manuel Torres. You did go Ignacio Bahamondes. Second fight, Lazy Boy versus Ode Osborne. I don't personally think he won the fight, but I picked Lazy Boy and you won. And you picked Ode Osborne, so I won that fight. And then lastly, the one that made you lose the hair on the thumbnail, Diego Lopez versus Brian Ortega, where I went Diego Lopez and D Rose went Brian T City Ortega. Are you muted right now?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was just like, I just didn't hear nothing shaking around in there. There we go.
Man. Oh gosh. We're starting with a bang here. Oh gosh. Dirty dishwater.
There
birthday
we
cake.
go. Dirty dishwater. Dirty dishwater. But luckily, it's only 2. You didn't get clean swept, so that's good.
Hold on, we got a someone was telling me good night there. So
Okay.
but we will take this thing. Oh god.
Dirty
Oh,
dishwater. Dirty dishwater.
Come on, birthday cake. Go.
Dirty dishwater. Dirty dish. Yes. 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 You can just hear Amber. You okay?
Yeah. Oh.
I hear Amber. You okay?
No, I will say. So I will say, it takes me a second to taste which one it is. That did not take 1 second for me to taste which one that was. Like, dude, coughing so hard I freaking made my camera fuzzy. Oh my gosh. Freaking the morning, dude. Like he should have just stood up. Stand up with freaking Rodriguez there in the first round. And that way I don't even have to do this crap right now.
All right. You got off with luck today. Luck. No, just eat it. You're good.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll throw the blue one back. If I'm digging it out again, I'm getting it again.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, gosh.
It's the same one. You're like, I should have took the blue.
No, this one's either, oh gosh, Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti.
Right.
Oh gosh.
I had the Tutti Frutti last week and it wasn't good. I was upset because they used to be good.
It honestly, it tastes like just a bunch of vanilla extract in it. That's all it tastes like.
All right.
Or no, that's the birthday cake. The birthday cake tastes like that one.
We gotta go for Stinky Socks.
Oh,
Stinky Socks. Stinky Socks. Stinky Socks.
oh.
Oh, you heard that one. I heard a little regurgitation on that one. I think Beangate might officially be over, D-Rose. I don't think there's any more Beangate. I heard a little backdraft on that one.
Because I rejected it as soon as I tasted it, dude. Golly. I mean, oh god, the dirty dishwater was still worse, but fuck. Gosh. I've been taking an ass whooping on these things, dude. Like, yeah, Beangate's that shit's been done, dude.
Because you started off, you ate all your good beans to start off the box.
Honestly, I really think I did. Like, I literally think I ate all the good beans in there, and now there's nothing but bad beans left, or freaking buttered popcorn, and I don't give a damn about no buttered popcorn. That shit tastes just as bad as the bad ones do.
All right, D-Rose. I don't know if this is going to make or help your case any, but our next subject is D-Rose over the years. And I did kind of maybe ask a little question at the beginning to kind of get a feel for how this was going to go. I did ask you the question. I was like, I don't think many people know that you had hair, and your response was, yeah, I did have hair, and people just don't believe it. So D-Rose, I took my time earlier. Since I took your hair away, I was able to go through. I may have called in some help, but I got some stuff, and let me broadcast it. D-Rose with hair over the years. And as I made this, D-Rose, I realized that your second grade picture, you look so much like Abby, dude. It is absolutely nuts. Like, you and Abby, are spot on. And the title on the top, D-Rose over the years with hair. Look at that. D-Rose had hair, everyone.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so Sugar Ray there with the Carlton. that was the comparison that I had all throughout high school was a Carlton, and I could do the Carlton dance as well. So that didn't help my matters any, but yeah, man, that's absolutely hilarious seeing that. That's
Yeah, just a little run through.
oh man,
Like the one over there on the far left. That's your first grade picture. That was
yeah.
first grade Falling Branch Elementary. These are actually yearbooks that I dug up, D Rose, and I took a shot of the picture and I got it out. The second picture is your second grade picture, believe it or not. And then I don't have any more until 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and those are the three in the middle. So 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then I got your senior year right there, all the way over to the right. Those are yearbooks that I found in my closet, dude. I'm like, this is going to be priceless. I hope he appreciates this. D Rose, at one point, he had hair, dude. I was looking for the one with cornrows, but I could not. I could not figure out what year it was. I was like looking through football pictures like and shit, and it's like he didn't ever have them during football or anything like that. So yeah,
I only had them for like in 6th grade. There was one. If you have the yearbook of us in 6th grade, it's at my mom's house somewhere. But there's a collage in there. I think of like the 6th grade or something like that. And there's a picture of me in the cafeteria with my cornrows then. But other than that, there aren't too many documented pictures of my cornrows back in the day, except for one of my mom's like way old cameras back in the day. And hey, we all had our fat phases there at one point in time. And honestly, like exactly the real G. But yeah, every kid had that little fat phase. And honestly, because even with me being a little bit smaller now, like I don't get used to the people calling me skinny, because I was pretty big dude at one point in time, and I was always regarded as a bigger dude. So yeah, that's how I always carried myself until maybe like the last year or two.
Yeah, dude. Times have changed, dude. I look back and I was just laughing. I was like, I hope he appreciates this, because this is hilarious at the same time as like, I took his hair away. Let's show everyone that he did have some hair. So yeah, that was a surprise I had in store for you. Hopefully that wasn't too bad for you. Like you said, usually it's a terrible surprise that you hate. So hopefully that one wasn't awful. Let's get into
that was not awful, but I was waiting for like, I don't know, you're gonna be like, now here's a picture of your ass, and I'm like, hey, where'd you get this from? Like some
and here's a picture of D Rose's gooch from the backside. Like, what the fuck?
Where did you get that, bro?
I should shave my head. Maybe I'll get skinny too. Maybe, Austin. You never know, dude. You never know. D Rose went from light heavyweight to featherweight. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Did the whole Khalil Roundtree. Just that way.
Hell yeah! All right. Did the reverse rumble, or actually did the JR Cannoneer? Let's say that.
Yeah.
Went from heavyweight to middleweight pretty quick.
I think that's who I was going for when I said Khalil Roundtree, but I think I happened to be thinking about Khalil Roundtree for some reason. Oh, I saw this video where there's this dude that looks exactly like Khalil Roundtree on the streets of fucking New York, like head kicking this homeless dude. Like he's like checking imaginary fucking leg kicks just like Khalil does, and he's this jacked dude, like looks just like Khalil, and like the homeless dude like flinches at him and just fucking head kicks. I'm like, dude, that could be Khalil Roundtree. It wouldn't surprise me if it was, dude. It's fucking nuts. If I find it, I'm gonna send it to you. It's like, what the hell?
Dude, people are crazy, man. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Anyway, let's get into the news and UFC fight announcements. Let's get this show over with. That's Khalil. Methamphetamine.
That's Khalil Ozempic.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. UFC fight news and announcements. Our first announcement we have is Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler 2 is added to UFC 309, the MSG card, dude. And yeah, when I did my only ever fighter documentary, dude, I've said it then. When UFC brings Michael Chandler to MSG, dude, you guys better fucking get ready, dude. This is going to be a banger. The first fight was a banger, dude. Charles could be knocked out at any point from Michael Chandler, and then vice versa. Charles could knock out Chandler, or he could sub Chandler at any point, dude. Chandler fights like a fucking madman, slowly has become one of my favorite fighters to watch just because of the way that he fights. Is it smart? No. Does he win all the time? No. But is it entertaining? Absolutely. And that's why I love me some Michael Chandler. And on the other hand, Charles do Bronx, all action all the time. Zero defense. If he gets hit, he'll just go to his back and like, hey, come down here and let's play some jiu-jitsu. And most of the time, guys are like, fuck that. So I'm excited as shit for this fight. I guess it'll be co-main event to the John Jones versus Stipe. But what's your thoughts on this 2, D-Rose?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be 5 rounds as well. So
this shit ain't going 5 rounds. I don't even know why you bring that shit up.
No, I very much doubt that it goes 5 rounds. But in the event that, hey, if it does get past that 3rd round mark, dude, that's gonna be absolutely crazy. I did call Gaethje versus Chandler going to decision. So
you did. But that was only 3 rounds. Yeah. That was only 3 rounds though.
Exactly. That was only 3. This is going to be 5. So that's going to be a little bit different in that case. But the first fight only went to the 2nd round, and at the start of the 2nd round too. So it should be absolute fireworks. I'm glad Chandler has moved on from the McGregor fight for now, because should he have taken a little bit of time off after that Poirier fight, sure, but he's also at the point where I think he's going to be 38 by the time this fight happens. So he has missed some valuable time, and being able to go in there and get some basically try to go in there and get some wins to try to get himself right, so that way if he does want to try to make some type of title run, he doesn't have a long time, and as he said, he's not here for a long time, he's here for a good time. So I just hate to see if the time that he's spent waiting for this Conor fight, he pass up enough of his youth to where now he's not going to be really that young, vibrant self to try to work himself to the UFC championship. But I'm glad to see him move on to this Charles fight, and it should be a banger.
I agree. So up next, we have, that was the Noche card. What the fuck? We're still doing this, man? All right. Kennedy up at heavyweight. Marcus Rogerio de Lima is out. So they rebooked that fight where, Rogerio fought the brother, and then they rebooked it. Kennedy will now face Justin Tafa, UFC 308, October 26th. Is this like fucking going to be on the Abu Dhabi card, D-Rose?
October 26th. Yes, that is
the dude.
Yeah, that
Kennedy's
is.
Going to get fucking. Kennedy's going to get fucking knocked out cold, man. And I am not a Justin Tafa fan, not even in the slightest. But there's a glaring hole here that, hey, Kennedy gets knocked out, and at light heavyweight, what's going to happen when he gets hit by fucking Justin Tafa, dude? Not a great fight for Kennedy, to be honest. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Tough fight for Kennedy, but I do think that, honestly, I'd favor Kennedy just because I think those body shots, I think those little teep kicks that he likes to throw, I think that's going to be something that's going to be able to keep Justin Tafa at range. And Justin Tafa, although he fights at heavyweight, he is not a big dude. He might be 5'11", 6 foot, where Kennedy's going to be every bit of 6'3", 6'4". So I think he'd be able to control the range, and he should be the better wrestler for the most part as well. I think he's got more tools. Obviously, Tafa has the power, but for me personally, I actually think it's a pretty favorable matchup for Kennedy.
All right, interesting one. I can't wait to see odds. Odds when that gets close. That'll be a fun one. Wow, we have two people that I could not care less about on the MSG pay-per-view. We have Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Brahimaj, UFC 309, November 16th, the MSG pay-per-view. Do you care about this one at all, D-Rose?
I do not care about this
All
one.
right, fair enough. We'll move on to the next one. That is poor Karolina Kowalkiewicz is going to be taking on Denise Gomes, D-Rose. And, D Gomes, one of my favorite fighters, and this is happening on my birthday. So I might lay a little birthday bet on this one. Give me D Gomes to knock out Karolina Kowalkiewicz here when this happens on November 9th, UFC Vegas 100. What's your thoughts on this one?
I'm kind of the other one in this one too. I can see Karolina, as long as she survives the early storm. I mean, she's been looking good in her last couple fights, and Denise Gomes has kind of shown.
Yeah, against not the best competition though, I guess.
No, but she's always had a really good chin too, and Denise Gomes, we've seen that if she doesn't get the early finish, we've seen her kind of gas out as the fight goes. And if there's one thing that we don't have to worry about testing for Karolina, it will be her her gas tank. So
yeah,
I do think that'd be a good fight. But yeah, no, I'd like to see the odds on that. I'd like to maybe take Karolina on that.
Interesting. We'll be split on that one too. I guess one thing that I just know is Karolina is not Angie Hill, and that's basically one of Denise Gomes' only problem that she had was Angie Hill for the most part. So we'll see what's up next. We got this upcoming week. We got Jermaine Durandamy is out, and Nora Cornell will now face Jacqueline Cavalcanti, UFC Paris. That's not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend. So me and D-Rose probably won't be here for the podcast next week, but I'll try to make it back in time for Change the Cheddar, at least give y'all my last minute fight picks, and I'll let extend the invite to D-Rose as well, so he can give his picks and such if he wants to come on. But yeah, only one comment on this fight. It looks like. What's your thoughts on this one, D-Rose?
Don't
Tough
really
fight,
have
right?
a strong. Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. Don't have a strong feeling either way on this one, to be honest. So.
Fair enough. We'll move on to the next one that was announced. John Jones versus Stipe Miocic going to be headlining UFC 309 November 16th. Is this fight going to happen, D-Rose?
I think it will, but I think it'll be clearly Stipe's last fight and John's last fight too.
John already fucking said it was his last one.
Yeah, he tried to say very likely his last fight. So he keeps trying to leave that potential carrot kind of dangling out there that he could return, but I don't see him returning after this. And as long as no freak injuries happen, I mean, I see the fight going on. So yeah, hopefully it does, just so we can get this over with.
Yeah, I agree. Let Tom be the heavyweight champ. Raul Rosas Jr. winning. Josh Van wins. Ketlin Souza wins. Ignacio Bahamondes wins. That disgusting cut over his face, dude. There's Lazy Boy. Oh, that's pretty sick right there in the background. I guess it wasn't too bad, but it didn't really, it just wasn't the same there. Zellhuber Ribovics, Diego Lopez Ortega, Valentino winning. And we got some fight news. That is Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig, also added to UFC 309 November 16th MSG card. So they're putting Bo Nickel on the MSG card against Paul Craig, man. And this is a big step up, but dude, Paul Craig's chin is just so fucking bad. I think Bo Nickel probably knocks him out. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, very, very well could happen like that, or Bo Nickel gets some good ground and pound off. I wouldn't be surprised about that either if he's ended up getting good position. And we know Paul Craig can tend to try to hide his head if he, lands a couple good punches, couple good elbows. I could see him kind of, facing off and just putting Paul Craig out of there. So I think seems like it's a pretty quick jump up for Bo Nickel, but he seems to be, kind of asking for the smoke and says he's ready for it. So Paul Craig is not an easy fight by any means either. So if Bo Nickel goes in there slouching, Paul Craig, we've seen him catch the best in those sneaky triangles, man. So it should be a tough fight for Bo, but I think he should be able to get it done.
Yeah, I think he probably snoozes him. There's Merab versus Sean, basically how that fight went. And then we've got a fun one here, dude. I'm glad Tatiana Suarez is returning. I'm glad we have some fight news for her. I think she's been out with with an injury. And yeah, dude, she just has a hard time staying healthy. If she can stay healthy, dude, I think she's your 115-pound champion. But with that being said, she has to go through the scary monster that is Virna Jandiroba. This is going to be targeted for UFC 310 December 7th. I believe this is maybe in Orlando, something like that, or there's a card in Orlando, Tampa, somewhere. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
No, this should be a very good fight, and it makes sense in terms of who we think should be the yeah, no, I mean just in terms of who should be the next title challenger in the strawweight division. I mean, yeah, it makes sense to have them both fight each other. I think they both got similar skill sets. I think Tatiana's the better striker overall, but Virna, as we've seen, has a really good gas tank. I would love to see. I mean, I know it's supposed to be on the pay-per-view. I would like to see this be 5 rounds, if I'm being honest, because I would like to see Tatiana get tested in those later rounds to see if she's really, if Virna's able to offer some resistance in the grappling. If Tatiana can really go all 5 rounds, if she's looking to take a championship fight next. So that's the only thing I can say that I don't like about this fight. But other than that, it should be a really good fight.
I agree. We've got Said Nurmagomedov taking on and Daniel Santos. This is going to be UFC 308, October 26th. So I'll be over at your place for this card, most likely. You care about this one at all?
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good fight. I like Said pretty good. He tends to put on a pretty fun fight, and Daniel Santos, he's a dangerous dude as well. Potent striker, of course, got submissions as well. So yeah,
you get that
should be a
like you get that like Pomeranian tattooed on your chest. You fucking better be a fucking tough guy and a fucking good fighter.
Yeah, no, he's a badass, man. So but no, Said's a badass too, man. So that should be a pretty good fight too.
Indeed. And then added to UFC Paris this upcoming weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, we've got Vince Morales taking on Taylor Lapilus, dude. Vince Morales has already been cut from the UFC for, basically being Adrian Yanez with a worse chin for the most part. He's a fun fighter, but Taylor Lapilus is just so good. I just don't see anything Vince Morales has to offer him for the most part. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, I think exactly.
We're gonna go through this whole card before next week.
yeah, pretty much. At this point, yeah. But yeah, Taylor Lapilus. I don't want to say a squash match for him, but it should be one that's served up on a silver platter for him. I mean, is at home as well in France, so should be a good win for him. But in overall, what could be a pretty entertaining fight because Vince Morales does leave himself. He leaves it all out there.
Yeah, for sure. Fun fighter though. We got D-Rod returning against the Great White Alex Morono. This could be, this probably looks a lot like D-Rod's prison fights, if I'm going to be honest. This is going to be taking place Vegas 98, October 12th. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, no, it pretty much could, especially just with the sloppiness that Alex Morono can kind of go in there with sometimes with the straight arm punches. But hey, I'll tell you, it's effective, and he's got a snappy jab and good footwork too. And honestly, I think that's a really tough fight for Daniel Rodriguez, if I'm being honest. So, but that should be a good scrap. Both good boxers. And yeah, D-Rod, he goes in there and, I think he's got a pretty good contract from the UFC for taking that Gastelum fight. So I think even if he loses this fight, he's probably going to still at least be in the UFC for maybe 2 or 3 more fights. So yeah, but I think it should be a good fight.
Yeah. And we got a comment here. Who do y'all think will replace Aljo versus Mobsar? It better not be, dude. It better not be Diego. I hope he does not take that fight. He said he's not going to. I don't think he's going to. I hope it's not.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, give me Josh Emmett versus Mobsar. I like that.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, because I think Josh Emmett hasn't really fought a wrestler, but I think is he booked for a fight?
Yeah, he did. Bryce Mitchell.
Well, yeah, true, yeah. Well, he hasn't had his wrestling tested yet. Let's say that because Bryce Mitchell definitely did not test it.
Yeah, especially the Panthers quarterback. He ain't testing shit.
I almost I don't know. Yeah, I almost said that for a second. I was like, hold on, I have to catch myself.
Anyway, returning here, Rayanne Dos Santos is out. Alice Ardeline, well, she fought not too long ago. She's an OnlyFans model. Will now face Melissa Martinez, UFC Vegas 99, October 19th. This is one of those fights where I could not give two shits about. But Alice Ardeline looks like she's a much bigger girl here, so I'll probably pick her to win. What's your thoughts on this one?
Exactly how you think. I could not care less.
All right, so we'll move on to the final and last one. It's shitty to see. My guy, Nate the Train Landwehr, is out. So now Alexander Hernandez steps in to face Austin Hubbard, UFC 307, October 5th. So it was going to be Nate the Train versus Austin Hubbard, and that would have been a fun fight, dude, because Austin Hubbard has a fun style, dude, because he's going to go out there and he's going to bang, but, you don't, in the famous words of Nate the Train, if you don't finish him, he's probably going to win. Shout out Nate the Train, but he is out, dude. What's your thoughts on Alexander Hernandez versus Austin Hubbard? Lightweight bout, 155.
Honestly, I think it could be a very similar matchup, and Alex Hernandez is more willing to kind of go out there in the first 3 minutes to go for it, and then just completely gas in the second and leave himself open to get finished. So I could see something like that happening, and even though we lost Nate the Train, I still think that could still be a pretty fun fight.
Indeed. I enjoy that so she can look. That's fucked up, Dave. That's fucked up. I know Austin will knock him out. It's very likely because Alexander Hernandez does gas. So with that being said, D-Rose, that's all I got here for this week. You got anything before we get out of here, man? You want to talk about anything, any questions or anything like that? Feel free, dude. And if not, then probably catch you guys next Friday.
No, I think we pretty much caught up on everything. Yeah, good pod, good card over the weekend. It was good to kind of chop up and not necessarily look forward to the next week, but kind of really chew on the meat of the bone of the pay-per-view. But yeah, it was fun to do that. And no pod next week, but hopefully we play some good bets, get some good money out here, and thankfully next pod I won't have to worry about eating any beans. So there we go.
Yeah, right. Like that's already a plus. I'm trying to pull up the next fight night card real quick it'll be at noon. Yeah, and it'll be at noon as well. So when that happens, so just real quick, I just want to look at the card. There's a lot of fights on here. Headlined Renato Moicano BSD. Probably going to pick BSD in that fight. I know D-Rose probably going to go Moicano in that one. So we'll probably be split on the main event on that one. We got Imavov versus Brendan Allen. Interesting fight. I'm probably going to go Brendan Allen on that one, though. William Gomi versus Joe Anderson Brito. That's a fun fight. Kevin Juice versus Brian Battle. That's a fun fight. Probably go Brian Battle on that one, though. Morgan Charrier versus Gabriel Miranda. That's a fun fight because Gabriel Miranda is a big guy for 145. Fares Ziam, Matt Fravola. That's a fun fight. Iwan Kutalaba, who gives a shit about him, but he's going to be taking on UFC newcomer, and he's down on the card. Omar C's returning against Dawoon Jung. Ludovic Klein, Roosevelt Roberts. Taylor Laplas, Vince Morales. Aileen Perez is returning against Daira Zelenziakova. Daniel Barres, Victor Altamirano, Nora Cornell, Jacqueline Cavalcante, and Belijah Oki, Chris Duncan. Yeah, it's a lot of fights on that card, dude. So imagine we added that shit to this, dude. We would be in like a 3-hour pod. It'd be like a 3-hour pod. No shot.
Hell
shot.
no.
No. So with that being said, you guys, I will Dave. Still trying to wrap around D Rose with that.
It was there at one point, guys. It was there. It was there.
Yeah. So with that being said, if you haven't seen the vlog, go out, check out the vlog, the Noche UFC 306. It's titled Dana's Love Letter to Mexico. Noche UFC 306 vlog. Go check it out. It's like an hour and a half long, but it's my whole trip when I was in Las Vegas, the Inside Sphere, and all that. So if you missed out, go check that out. But yeah, me and D Rose. Well, I will be back in the U.S. next Friday. I think like 7 p.m. So I can probably get my shit set up in time for Change of Cheddar. Hopefully,
yeah,
I can get
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving the U.S. I'm not leaving the U.S. I'm staying here.
Yeah, D-Ro's going to be selling some Kias next week still. Kias and Hyundais for D-Rose. But yeah, I'll be back here next Friday. Hopefully I can be back in time and get some Change of Cheddar up for you guys. But yeah, me and D-Rose not going to be here for the podcast next week. I brought my laptop and all that shit last year. I am not doing that shit this year. It's just too much of a hassle. And Jamaica makes you like pay like $50 for like a block of the internet, and it's just not worth it. So I'm not doing that this year. With that being said, we truly appreciate all you guys for stopping by here, hanging out with us here tonight, getting the recap for Noche UFC 306. D-Rose was able to eat some beans, and you guys were also blessed with the fact that D-Rose has not always been bald. So I'll just put this up for you one last time. D-Rose, over the years, he had hair at one point. Let it be known. So with that being said, we'll catch you guys later. Next Friday for me. Once again, D-Rose, you are more than welcome to come, but I'm not going to hold you to it or anything like that. But with that being said, it's going to be all from us here today on the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt. D-Rose is on that side of the screen, and I will catch you guys late next week.
Peace.